Alright, so before I get started pulling the motor, I did kind of want to go over the build a little bit more and what it was. So we are running an LM7 truck motor with 706 heads. I did cathedral to rectangular port intake adapters to run this LS3 intake. We're running the Holley Terminator X setup with the stock get rag transmission and the PMC Motorsports adapter. You can kind of see it back there. Don't mind the zip ties. Running ceramic spark plug wires just because the CX Racing headers, those guys have been known to kill wires pretty easy. Then I am also running Chase Bay's brake booster delete. I got the Chase Bay's brake lines, their hydro, their power steering kit. Let's see what else. We're running the RCI 15-gallon fuel cell back here. We got that guy with a 480 LPH pump, and then the filter there. Nothing too crazy. In here we got the flocked dash, some NRG seats with some eBay harnesses. We got the Terminator X, little screen here, the e-brake, little harness bar, a little dark in here, a bunch of random parts, some FDF floor pans. We are running the Fitment Lab version 2 over fender kit with the Evo wing on the back there. And I think that's just about all of it. So the reason that I am pulling the motor is actually because during the gender reveal, there's a oil leak that happened at some point when I was doing the burnout. And you can see like there's oil here, there's a big puddle of oil under the car. It's kind of hard to tell at the time because the whole garage was full of smoke. But I ended up figuring out that it was this valve cover. I never put the little metal washers in there, so it kind of just rattled loose and then popped the seals. So I went ahead and we bought new valve cover gaskets and hardware with the little washers in there. You can kind of see it. I got, since I'm pulling the motor, well, I am going to be pulling the motor because I needed to do a throwout bearing. And with that adapter, it's kind of hard to get to it with the motor in there. So we got like 50 bolts that we'd have to take out, some shit like that. So we got this guy here. We're going to be putting that in, and since we pulled the motor, we're going to be doing a lot of things I neglected to do the first time. So we got like this header wrap here, since we got a lot of shit that's close to the headers. Don't want anything to burn up. As far as the wiring goes, I did buy this here so that the starter wire that goes behind the header is safe. I guess we show this. We got the oil cooler. We're going to be putting that guy right here after we clean up all the wiring. I am going to be going back to stock headlights and blinkers because those just don't cut it. And then, let's see, I'm going to reroute the catch can setup while we're there. Just clean up a lot of this wiring and make it a little bit more bulletproof. Every time I pull the motor, I do everything that I could think of. So we're going to pull the pan off, clean it up because it got dirty, do a new pan gasket. I'm going to do a brand new oil pump because the one is factory in there, and that motor probably had like 200,000 miles on it originally. When I did the cam swap, everything looked super healthy. The heads were fine. I did do new valve seals, and the motor runs great. Just had that little oil leak, but I did decide that I'm going to do a new oil pump in it because I'm only getting around 20 psi when it's warm at idle, 40 when it's cold. And I kind of want to see that 40 more consistently, hopefully, at idle. So we got the M295 milling oil pump, the whole kit there. So we got the crank pulley bolt, the front main and timing cover bolt, or not bolt, gasket. Let's see, I think that's just about everything. So we can get to pulling the motor out. All right, we went ahead and pulled the motor out of the drift car. We got this right here. The bay is pretty dirty, a little bit banged up from the headers, trying to put them in the first time. Wiring looks like a mess right now. I kind of just have everything everywhere. I am going to clean up how the wiring comes out of the original ECU box cover. And then also, this is my homemade light harness. So I'm going to loom all of this as well, and then make a quick disconnect so I can pull the front core support a little bit quicker. But yeah, here she is. You can see a little bit of everything. The exhaust hanging down there a little bit. We got the motor right here. I did pull the intake off. I just wanted to clean up because I did have an oil leak. So you can still see some oil right in there. I just want to clean up everything, make it look brand new again. We're going to be taking off the water pump here soon. Probably next, actually, we will be doing the oil pan. We'll pull that off, do a new gasket. While that's off, we'll have the pickup tube off. We will be able to take the oil pump off super quick, and once we get the new one, let's see, we got it somewhere, it's right over there. Once we get that new oil pump on, we'll put the oil pan back on, and then I went ahead and already put in this brand new throwout bearing. The old one was definitely toast. You can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it. And then we got a couple things left to do after that. Probably gonna clean up the valve covers and repaint them again. Find some black heat paint or something. Got valve cover gaskets and new valve cover hardware. It'll change it out from a 10 to like an Allen wrench or something. And then the oil cooler. Other than that, I did end up wrapping these headers. It wasn't the funnest thing in the world. You can kind of see that one over there. But I feel like I did a pretty good job on those guys, and it should definitely do its job. These guys are pretty solid, and I feel like it's going to keep the engine bay temps down. Should keep the starter wire from melting. And that's another thing, is we need to, like I said, we need to go ahead and take this, and let's see, this is the starter trigger wire right there. We're going to put a little bit of this around this, because this goes around the starter. And then it looks like this guy right here. This would also be our starter wire. So this will get some of that as well. We will get a little like bulkhead to go right there so the wires don't end up rubbing a hole through there. I'm gonna wipe everything down in the engine bay a little bit. Wipe this down. I haven't decided yet, but I might, because I have a lot more of this yellow paint. Still got to do the whole car, but I might just go through, sand this up, and then just retouch up on the engine bay just a little bit. And then once the hood vent gets here, we're going to be doing the D-Max hood vent. Once that shows up, we'll be sanding the hood down, and we're going to mold the hood vent to the hood, and then start prepping the car to get fully painted the correct way. Last time you could see I kind of half-assed everything. That's why I sanded down some drips. Some spots that I circled that got messed up. Basically what happened was, when I did the engine bay, it came out perfect, but I never cleaned the gun, so when I went to use it again, it was all jammed up and it was dripping out and spraying. So unfortunately the actual paint job came out like shit. But I'm gonna go through, sand everything. It's got a good yellow base coat now, at least most of the stuff does. Obviously the trunk and the bumper were from a different car. The wing wasn't on yet. And then the front bumper we still got to do as well. Same with the core support. And then I am going to be switching back to stock headlights, like I was saying, stock blinkers, or at least OEM style ones. But yeah, I think that's about it.